Bumblebee before Sam's death and after Sam's death. So I actually made a video talking about this because we know for a fact that in the Bayverse, Sam is dead. Why people still try to argue if he's alive or not just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, last night pretty much confirmed that Sam died at some point between Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction. And something that I feel like a lot of people kind of overlook and don't talk about a lot is the fact that Bumblebee's personality changed quite a bit between Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction. Like, you could see he was grieving. Obviously, you know, with all the Autobots dying, of course, it's a big part of it, you know, but the fact of the matter is, Sam, considering, you know, he died, this is definitely a good part of it. I remember when I made my video a year ago, people were going, oh, well, Starscream, you're thinking way too deep into this. It's like, no, like, if you actually paid attention, like, a lot of people say that the Bayverse has bad writing, and, you know, for the most part, that's true, but let's not pretend that all of it was, like, terrible. I mean, we saw how Bumblebee reacted when Sam said he was going to college and he couldn't take Bumblebee. Is it so wrong to think, hey, maybe he's gonna be...
We say this because it's not enough evidence to say that Sam is dead nor alive. The only proof that we have is Sir Edmund Burton claiming that he's a last Witwiccan, and there's a video that counters his claim.
The biggest questions that surfaced from fans who watched The Last Knight for the first time involve Sam Witwicky. While the star of the first 3 Transformers films did not actually appear in the film, his eBay profile photo did make a brief cameo appearance in Sir Edmund Burton's Hall of Witwiccans. This, of course, came right after Burton apparently said he was the last surviving member of the Order, so this begs the question, is Sam Witwicky a Witwiccan? And if he is, does that mean he is dead in the Transformers universe? Before we get into Sam's fate, let's understand what a Witwiccan is. Burton describes them as a collection of brilliant minds, explorers, scientists, artists, world leaders, and Renaissance thrill seekers, a secret society united to protect the secret history of Transformers on Earth. Now, for the purpose of this episode, we're just going to gloss over the absurdity of everyone from Harriet Tubman to Stephen Hawking being a member. So anyway, moving on, let's quickly talk about Merlin's connection to the Witwiccans. Burton mentions and shows a Witwiccan family tree, which really doesn't make too much sense since the Witwiccans are actually not a family. Some might be related, but they don't have to be. Abraham Lincoln was not actually related to William Shakespeare. What we do know, however, is that Vivian's dad was one of the rare people who were both a direct descendant of Merlin and a Witwiccan. We know this because Burton outright tells us that the man was a Witwiccan, and his daughter Vivian is the last surviving descendant of Merlin. We also know that while Burton is the last surviving member of the Order of the Witwiccans, he has no blood relation to Vivian. And as another quick side note, since Burton is the last surviving member of the Order of Witwiccans, Stephen Hawking, who is still currently alive in the real world, is actually dead in the Transformers universe. So anyway, that solves the first piece of the puzzle. Being a descendant of Merlin does not make you a Witwiccan, and vice versa. However, as years pass, there are many surnames that have changed over time, finally resulting in the name Witwicky. So it is safe to assume that Sam at least had an ancestor who was a member of the Order of Witwiccans. That still does not tell us if Sam was a Witwiccan member himself. Well, the answer to that question might actually be simpler than you think, and we will find our answer through his ancestor Archibald Witwicky, the explorer who discovered Megatron frozen in the Arctic Circle. Archibald Witwicky's photo might have been displayed in the Hall of Witwiccans, but he was definitely not one of the members. If we go back and look at the duty of a Witwiccan, they are supposed to protect the secret history of Transformers. Archibald did no such thing. In the Arctic Circle, Archibald went crazy and tried to spread the story of how he found a giant metal alien buried in the ice.
Unfortunately, my great-great-grandfather, the genius that he was, wound up going blind and crazy in a psycho ward, drawing these strange symbols and babbling on about some giant Iceman.
Doesn't sound very Witwiccan-y, does it? As some extra proof, out of all the names listed off by Sir Edmund Burton, Archibald Witwicky was not one of them. So now that we know Archibald was not a Witwiccan, it is fairly safe to assume Sam was never one either. Let's also remember that the Transformers exposed themselves to the world during the events of Revenge of the Fallen, so there was really no need to continue the society.
And all we have is a picture of Sam. And let's just talk about this real quick. Why out of all the pictures that could be out there and is available that he has Sam's eBay page? And the picture is implying that he may be dead or not, leaving fans to decide. It's not confirmed or even stated. Y'all hear this man speak and took it as pure facts. And how do we even know that he is actually the last Witwiccan? Or even that Sam is actually dead? Was he there when it happened? Were there news about Sam's death? Some fans are even reaching saying that Sam's parents are dead based on nothing. They're just assuming. This comment pretty much sums up everything that I'm trying to say.
Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction. And something that I feel like a lot of people kind of overlook and don't talk about a lot is the fact that Bumblebee's personality changed quite a bit between Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction. Like, you could see he was grieving.
No, not even. You can rewatch the film again. At no point Bumblebee was depressed. The only time he was sad, which you stated, was that he was watching his friends being murked in 4K. He was He was also acting childish, like Drift said. Other than that, you never see Bumblebee be sad or depressed. If anything, he was cool as cucumbers when he met Sam and the rest. And what do you mean that he was grieving? Find me a scene where Bumblebee was being depressed, instead of just saying that he was. Hell, Bumblebee, nor Optimus, or even Lennox mention Sam at all. They act like he never existed. And if anyone brings up that whole Optimus telling Sam to run, let's not forget that audio illusion is a thing, you know? Something where it makes you think that you're hearing something, but it's not what you're actually hearing.
Laurel, 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 Laurel.
And let's not forget that neither Optimus nor Bumblebee mentioned Sam at all in Age of Extinction and The Last Knight. You can use any excuse in the book, but nonetheless, they still never brought up the man who's been with them for 3 movies. Why are y'all acting like Transformers has never been in physical pain before? You can clearly see Optimus in genuine pain. Look at him. He's all rusted. Sparks are flying from his body. He can hardly stand up. There's green liquid flying out of his systems. And keep in mind, bro is in stasis lock in his alt mode, and we have no idea how long he's been like that. The film is practically saying that Sam is not important anymore, and you gotta focus on these characters. Let me ask y'all this. When Optimus got shot by Lockdown, did he say ogre? Because that's what it sounds like he says, even though that he literally got shot.
I remember when I made my video a year ago, people were going, oh, well, Starscream, you're thinking way too deep into this. It's like, no, like, if you actually paid attention, like, a lot of people say that the Bayverse has bad writing, and, you know, for the most part, that's true, but let's not pretend that all of it was, like, terrible. I mean, we saw how Bumblebee reacted when Sam said he was going to college and he couldn't take Bumblebee. Is it so wrong to think, hey, maybe he's gonna be...
And yeah, in Revenge of the Fallen, you can clearly see Bumblebee crying. Where in Age of Extinction or The Last Knight, that it shows Bumblebee being depressed and or sad, I guarantee you, you will not find it at all. That's how far you guys are reaching with this. I understand that you guys have your headcanons and whatnot, and with all due respect, when I'm hearing claims saying that, oh, either Sam is dead or that Bumblebee is depressed in the Age of Extinction film, even though that he wasn't, I'm going to look at this from a logical and reasonable perspective. I'm not going to take people's words and run with it, spinning some kind of narrative. I watch the films and I do like a little bit of research to see if all this stuff lines up or not. And if it does, it does. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But hey, that's just me. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.